Hi YouTube, this is Mark from Abilities, and today I'm going to show you how I tie my necktie to get ready for the day, to go to work with limited hand function. So stay tuned, okay? So after being injured at the age of 18 and becoming quadriplegic, I wanted to go back to school. So after some rehabilitation, I got back into college and I was trying to figure out what do I want to do. And I really liked math, I liked business, so I thought, okay, maybe being an accountant would be good. So I started to research what accountants do, where they work, and realized that that might actually work for me and my disability wouldn't get in the way. I could sit in a cubicle, I could look at financial statements, I could do tax returns, call clients. That would work. Okay, so when I'm in school and I'm, interviewing with companies and going to meet and greets with other accountants, I realized that they're professionals. So they wear business attire. They wear suits with neckties. And so I had gotten comfortable with some tools buttoning up my shirt, like the video that I showed you. But the other thing was I was concerned about a necktie. I wanted to be able to tie it on my own, wear it, and look nice and professional. And so I was a little bit freaked out about that. So if you look at, I went on and looked at some videos of neckties. You'll see people when they tie them, they put them around their neck and do it. And I soon realized I couldn't do this. This was really hard. As much as I tried, because of my hands, not having triceps, not having wrist flexion, the balance, it was really hard to do something up here, tie it really tight, make those turns and get it into where it looked like a tie that I was proud of. So I went online and looked at the knot that I liked, which was a half-windsor because it's kind of symmetrical. It's got that triangular shape. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to learn how to do it on my lap and achieve the same goal. So I'm going to show you how I tie my half-windsor knot on my lap. Let's go. All right, so we have the tie, and I'm going to do my best to explain this in steps. If you choose to try and attempt this method on your lap, you may want to go back and watch this a few times. I know it's going to be quite a few steps, but I don't have a pad on my lap, but you can use that. It might make it easier so the tie doesn't slide around. I don't have it right now. I just have my legs out, but I'll just show you how I do it. So I'm going to start with the skinny part first and put that between my legs. I'm going to hold over the large part of the tie. And what I'm trying to do here is I'm just going to cross these, pinch it, and then flip it over. So I've got the big part upside down now. This part I'm going to flip over so that it just lays on my leg. And now at this point, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to measure the length of the tie, the big part, to where it's at a good length when I start folding it over and pulling it through, that after adjustments, it's going to end somewhere here around my belly button. So I don't want it too long, too short, just right. That's taking some time, but I'll just show you kind of roughly like where that should be as I'm going through here. So this can be a little tricky because it's on my leg. I'm trying to keep it so that it doesn't fall off. But here we go. All right, so this is roughly about where I want it. It's probably about a foot hanging over my right leg here. Now once that's there, I'm going to need to tuck it through this little hole. So I'm going to bring this part up a little bit to make this hole better, but still trying to hold this in place. So now I take the big part of the tie, just sticking in my fingers. I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to just get it started here, and I can go back to holding it. Okay, so now I'm going to hold this here. I'm going to pull this through. And as I do that, it's going to form like a little diamond shape down here, which I want to hold on to. So what I can do is I can hold this, got this coming through. Okay, so now diamond shape, this is through. I want to adjust these a little bit to the extent that I can. Make that nice. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tuck this behind that loop. Still trying to hold this little diamond. I know this is a lot of steps, but just work with me here. All right, so I try to keep that diamond here on my leg. Got this part that I tucked behind the loop. Now, keeping it tight, we're going to cross over the top, okay? Cross that over. Now hold that in place. So you can kind of see here, it's coming towards, now we've gone in front of the loop, right? Now, we're going to take this piece and we're going to come through the back of the loop and forward, all right? So I'm going to lay it down here so I can get that and achieve that. But you can see I'm coming through that hole and I'm going to go over, all right? Now, what you're going to see is kind of the tie's taking shape. It's got the little triangle piece in front, and I need to take this big part and I need to tuck it down into it. So this can be a little bit difficult because it's already, it's not quite tight, but I'm trying to keep it tight and tuck it in so it keeps that knot shape. So what I do with this front big part is I'm going to fold it over. I got this. Now I'm going to go ahead and try and tuck it in here without upsetting it too much. Just kind of shake it a little bit. All right, now I'm starting to pull it down and it's taking shape. Okay, so starting to happen here. But this is where you need to kind of do all the adjustments. So I'm going to actually put this in my mouth and tighten this by pulling it down, pushing it up. So you'll see. So push down. Pull up. Push down. Pull up. Okay, not perfect, but we're getting close. So at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this over my head. I'm going to take my glasses off. I'm going to put this onto my neck so that way I can kind of really dial this in. So I'm going to pull a little bit to open up the neck part. All right. So this part can be a little bit tricky because you're going to want to, I'm going to loosen this a little bit more. You're going to want to go over the collar of your shirt to the extent you can. Sometimes that can be hard. One thing I find is you can start with like one side and just lift it up and start to kind of tuck this under it. You can do the same on this side. Tuck it under it. And then you can grab the little piece in the back. I just use some spasms and just kind of shake it around. And when you do that, it's going to pull this part underneath the shirt a little bit better. So I just use my finger. It's going to go under the edge of this to pull it down. All right, now let's deal with, let me put my glasses back on. And then I can scoot up here a little bit so we can see what's going on. All right. So now, I'm going to go ahead and fix this knot a little bit more. So I'm going to pull down here. And then we're going to go ahead and kind of push this up. So we'll tuck again. All right, we got that on there nice. Now, at this point, let me back up a little bit. There's a couple things that you can do. If you want, you can wear the shirt like this. This is mostly like a relaxed look after you've had to wear it for the day. You'll undo the top button and kind of leave your tie relaxed. I like to do the top button. It's not the easiest. I have this button tool, and this is a shirt. I've gotten I put on some weight, so the neck part's a little bit tight, but I can show you how I would do this. And this is a lot easier in a mirror. I don't really have one, so I'm kind of going by just feel here. But I'm feeling for this button so that I can get it in the little holder. Looks like I did. All right, so it's now in. This is where it's hard. I have to trigger a spasm on this side. And I pull it over. And boom. That takes a lot of practice. I can't always do that, but it actually worked out. So I'm going to hold this one across my chest and then pull up with this one. And then just adjust again. I'll do it again. Pull this against my chest. Adjust. Now you can pull the knot down, adjust it like so. And, you flip it over, take this little part, and tuck it in here so that it doesn't come out. All right, so this is more or less the look. You got the nice knot there. It's nice and tight. This tie is a little bit longer than I usually do, but again, that's just kind of trial and error. I usually try to get a little bit shorter just because of the leaning over. If I was standing up, this is probably right about where you want it, where your belt, where your your waistband is. But this is pretty much it. Go ahead and give it a go if you want to try it. There's an easier, not a half-windsor, but I think it's called four-in-hand or something like that. But there's some different knots you can get, but I just really like how sharp this knot looks with you know, this setup. Choosing different ties is going to make a difference. Like this tie has, it's not as silky. It has a little bit more grip to it. So when you're tying a tie, it's a little bit easier. You know, you just kind of have to play around with it. If you're going to be wearing a tie or you're going to an event and you want to be able to do it on your own, just get a tie and try it. I mean, you know, be patient with it. Watch this video and hopefully you can kind of re-engineer it the way I have. All right, so thanks for watching today. Hopefully this was helpful. You know, if you're going to try, you know, tying your own tie, wearing business attire. I'm going to post a link for the video where I button my shirt, but this is, you know, strictly for tying this necktie, and I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions, you know, leave them below. Let me know how you tie your tie, or if you do something different, if you wear like a one with a zipper, or, you know, maybe it's one of the ones that just clip on. Doesn't matter, whatever works for you. This is about you feeling good about yourself, getting on with your day, being independent. So all things, nothing is, you know, set in stone on how you do it. So hopefully you come back and join us again. We'll be putting out more content, but thank you for joining me today. Again, comment, like, subscribe, share with your family and friends, and we'll be back soon. Thanks, and keep working hard towards your independence. Take care.